I was planning on winning, but you can try if you want.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at the 10 toughest courses featured in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Water Palace. Though it's one of the first courses you'll race in the game, it's hard because this is the first course that introduces water-based mechanics. Sounds absurd to call a course hard over, right? We'd agree with you, but the boat portions of CrossWorlds do not play like what we saw in, say, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. If you want to nail those turns, you're gonna have to get a grasp on how drifting works during this segment. Water Palace is the easiest of the courses that sport these segments, but even so, you're going to struggle a bit when playing this course for the first time ever. Trust me, there is a bit of a learning curve to this. I still haven't nailed it quite yet. Finish! Colorful Mall. For the most part, Colorful Mall is a super fun track to race on. The many branching paths leave quite a bit of room for players to create their own path to the finish line. And yeah, if you find a way to chain your drift boosts with boost pads and boost rings, you can almost speed through the entire course just on those. However, those branching paths can work against you if you're still falling behind, even if you're just in second or third. Should your rivals choose different paths than you, you're forced to either hoard your items or use them on whoever just so happens to be on the same path as you. Considering you have 3 different roads placed towards the end of the track, this can end up costing you the race, assuming you don't play it smart. Aqua Forest. Not to jump into the later tracks too early in this list, but Aqua Forest was one of the first tracks that came to mind when we were putting this whole thing together. You can end up getting stuck in crowds way too easily given how narrow the track is overall, which means a simple bump can either push you off-road and slow you down, or send you falling off the edge and setting you back. Just 1 or 2 of those instances can cost you the entire race. But the most aggravating part for some folks is going to be the water-based portion of this race. By now, you should have gotten a handle on the drifting mechanics for these sections. The problem is that the structure of the track makes turning even more difficult and can cause you to smear your cart along the wall until the course straightens out. Try not to let this track filter you out though. Once you get the hang of it, Aqua Forest isn't so bad as the other courses that we're about to get to. Coral Town. It'd be nice to be able to race through Coral Town and really take in the scenery every now and again. Unfortunately, this track has the same gimmick as Colorful Mall, in which the course branches off into different paths. But it becomes more harrowing to deal with here. Whereas Colorful Mall allows you to drop down to the bottom path towards the end, Coral Town keeps its branching paths much more isolated and presents another fork on both paths after the first fork. The entire competition briefly winds up racing on 4 different roads with very little room to hinder each other until they all converge midway through. Our advice? Try to take the same path as whoever is in first or whichever path seems the least crowded. Mystic Jungle.
Let's both promise to do our best and play nice.
Considering this is the first course of the third cup, there isn't much reason to expect Mystic Jungle to be too challenging, and yet it found a way. First off, it's pretty easy to fall off of the course at the start if you're taking the right side of the track. But the biggest headache you'll have to deal with is the rapid river that comes midway through. Handling-based builds will do just fine here, but every other build in the game is going to struggle as it is very easy to fall off or hit a wall because of a poorly timed jump, or the AI was bumping into you too much. This section alone is going to make you either love or hate Mystic Jungle. For me, definitely hate Mystic Jungle.
Finish!
White space.
Go!
It is really cool that we got a track based on the recent remaster of Sonic Generations. This is an entire course dedicated to the remasters portion of the game that was dedicated to Shadow. Though cool in visuals, it does feature a few sections that might annoy you. There are a couple of sections where gun robots are shooting at the track, and the hitboxes for those projectiles are fairly big. There are also a couple of portions where the track is covered in purple goop, one of those sections being water-based, where it's a bit harder to see which areas are covered. White space is likely going to test your patience, and it certainly tested mine. Still a cool course though, not gonna lie.
Finish!
Radical Highway. Radical Highway is such a classic Sonic location that it's really hard to dunk on this too much. Although, once you remove the feelings of nostalgia, the course can be really challenging as there are 3 brief sections where paths diverge. Not only that, but there is so much happening in every one of these sections that it's hard to get a hit on anybody, let alone keep track of where everyone is. Your best bet is to just focus on boosting and try not to worry about always picking up capsules. Just hold on to what you have until the next set of capsules can give you an item. Kraken Bay. We were trying to refrain from putting the CrossWorlds tracks on here since they only last a single lap. However, we can't help but stare at Kraken Bay with daggered eyes when talking about difficult courses. Holy giant squid tentacles, Batman! There are Kraken arms all over the damn place. Appropriate for the course's name, yes, but there are so many spots where you can get smashed by an arm. You have to be able to steer to another part of the course at a moment's notice, which is easier said than done when there aren't also barrels being tossed around like frickin' candy. Good luck getting A rank on the time trials for this one. I can't seem to get it down.
Finish!
Dona Factory.
If it isn't my favorite second place getter, I appreciate that you keep trying.
Of the later tracks, we had way more trouble with Dona Factory than we did with Eggman Expo or North Star Islands. The reason for this is because Dona Factory is a very drift-heavy course with a lot of tight turns. Obviously, those with moderate stats and handling may not struggle as much. Power drivers can easily ignore the annoying obstacles from the assembly line, but if you're a speed, acceleration, or boost class build, you're more than likely going to hit many walls throughout this race, unless you've really optimized your gear loadout.
You may be fast, but you lack the skills. Pay attention, cause I'm gonna show you how a real champion races.
Blizzard Valley. Now, full disclosure, we have no idea how any of the DLC courses are going to turn out. Not to age the video too badly, but we're making this right before Minecraft gets added to the game. Regardless, we strongly believe that Blizzard Valley is the hardest course in the entirety of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and it will likely still be the hardest even after all of the DLC courses get added. The main reason for this is because of the ice physics. Trust me, I've been playing this game a lot since it came out. It's an awesome game. But while I've gotten the hang of how to drift on the icy portions of this course, it is still immensely difficult to drift without hitting an obstacle or driving off-road. Failing to turn smoothly can wind up costing you the whole race, as hitting obstacles or going off-road slows you down to such an outrageous degree. This constant battle and overcorrection is what makes Blizzard Valley so frustrating for the first half of the race. The second half, on the other hand,
Finish!
But tell us, what's the toughest track you've played in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds? Let us know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to MojoPlays for more great videos every day.